long way to come.
Yes, actually. Fell out of bed. That was a long way to come, too.
Gorgeous day out there today. It's going to be a little cloudy, but it's going to warm up and clear off later in the day tonight.
Yes.
Chances of showers.
You are looking extremely spiffy this morning.
Looking extremely comfortable, too.
Yes.
This is definitely springtime fashions.
I feel quite dull beside you.
Oh, come on now. This is nice. This is from Playboy. Playboy is here today. Not Playboy, but Playboy Industry has come out today with a Playboy guide for fashions. Actually hit the newsstand yesterday. And in today's show, David Platt, who is the fashion coordinator for Playboy, is going to be by to show us some of those fashions, show you what's inside the magazine, and this is part of it, and we've got lots more to show you. That's coming up in just a few moments on Good Morning Eugene.
Wait to see the model. My heart. Also, you know, Hugh Hefner is the publisher of Playboy magazine, and he made quite a splash when he named his daughter as an executive vice president of Playboy Enterprises, because she is quite young. Well, she is with us today, and she's just about to set the publishing industry on its ear. She's the publisher of the Playboy Guides, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about the Playboy Guide to Men's Fashion. For instance, who can imagine men sitting under the hairdryer reading a fashion magazine? It might come to that. Also, we'll be discussing the Senior Olympics this morning, and we'll have some bowling tips for you if you want to improve your game. We'll show you some very lovely glass sculptures, and Glad Applegate has a couple of words for us. But first, Brenda Bradshaw is here, and she's going to tell us if our writing is telling the people we're writing to something about ourselves. Right, Brenda?
That is right, Cindy. And Brenda is with us again this Friday as usual, and we're going to talk about a letter that I'm very familiar with, and that's D's.
Yes.
Got a lot of those in school.
You told me that. I can't believe you.
My teacher got a lot of practice writing them anyway.
What kind did she write? What kind of D do you remember most distinctly?
Very big ones. I remember that. They look larger than everything else on the
trying to get her point across, wasn't she?
I suppose so.
She says, you're going to get it if you don't straighten out,
That's
right?
true.
You're going to get a letter D.
Same thing my parents said. Worked out very well.
We have a D that is takes on two distinctive types of stroke changes. Of course, your pointed D is just straight. And I have found that the capital D will either have loops in it, or not have loops in it, or be open.
And what particular part of the personality do D's deal with?
Oh, my. The ones with all the loops and the fancy ones are the flirtatiousness in you. You come alive. If you have a husband that has the very flowery D, boy, you better keep your eye on him, because he'll go out and just look at everything he can get into. That's true. And the open-hearted D, the D that's open at the top. That is the D that is the person who does everything in the world, favors. They'll work for the rescue squads, and the nurses will have this open-hearted D. They just can't do enough for you. They fall over trying to do things for you. Now, if we want to look in the examples, I have some capital D's in the examples. Example 1, this is the first one. You go to example 1. Yeah. The kind-hearted D's up at the top. This is Kathy from Hopewell. She has the one that's looped, where the loop comes down and crosses over.
About midway down?
Yeah, she likes to do favors for people, and she will get her favors paid back. If you bring that loop and close that top, then you will get your favors paid back to you. But if you leave it open, well, you're just going to get in all kinds of trouble. You're going to be doing everything you can. And the second illustration we have that's Mrs. Lewis from Mechanicsville underneath that, and she has also she gets her favors repaid back. The second one underneath.
Okay, there's
right there. See how hers comes around and swings around and closes her D also.
Looks like the top of the slant of the D slants back much more than the other one. What does that mean?
Well, if it's slanting back a little bit towards the introvert, it just means that she's more cautious than the other person. If it's leaning to the right, then she's going to want to just bend over backwards, you see.
Right.
And then she holds herself back, she's okay. A lot of times, when you do things for people, you have what you might want to say a behavior pattern that you're setting up with your friends. They start taking advantage of you, and you don't know how to get out of it. And if you put caution in your letters, then you're going to put caution in your life. If you leave your letters open, then you're open for everything.
Now, can you try to change your writing to have it affect your life? In other words, if you practice making your D's a certain way, it'll change your attitude?
Yes, and most of the literature that I've read on handwriting analysis or graphoanalysis, which is another part, reading strokes and writing, is that you can change your writing if you set it up that way. You think some way and you say, all right, I'm going to achieve this through my writing. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to be more positive. Remember the show we had on positive writing? And you wrote positive. So if you feel like you are just having people take advantage of you and you want somebody to stop, from, taking so much advantage of you, try to change your D. Try to close that D. Try to close the letters on there. And every time you do it, it becomes a natural thing. And actually you've changed it in your life. I don't know. Do we have time for the little D's across the bottom?
We've got a minute or so.
Okay, let's go to the little D's across the bottom. There we are. Here's the first one. The loop shows sensitivity. The shortest, the stem, more independence, and that's a little D. The second one in the little D set on the bottom. Can you go to the second one? Okay, here's the second one. See that little stem on the front? It's kind of have it like a chip on your shoulder. You know people are going to take advantage of it all the time.
How about the close? No, there's no loop.
No sensitivity whatsoever.
Okay, that's a pretty rough person. There.
Real rough, real chip on his shoulder. We'll get into some E's. I won't be on next week, but I'll be on the week after that.
2 weeks.
I'm going to take some pictures for some houses because that's the E.
That's the E. So
yeah, so I'm going to go all over Richmond. I do lectures for people. If people want to call, I can come talk to your clubs.
Okay.
Right.
Brenda, thanks for being with us again this morning. We look forward to the E's in 2 weeks and have a nice week off.
I certainly will.
Cindy?
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Brenda. Coming up on Good Morning Virginia, you're going to see some fashions for men that are really spiffy. So stay with us.